Democratic Congressman Beto O'Rourke was in Austin over the weekend, making a push for the U.S. Senate. He plans to challenge Senator Ted Cruz in November of 2018. But can a Democrat upset a Republican in the state of Texas? Joining us now for some insight, Ed Espinoza with Progress Texas and GOP consultant Matt Makoviak. Ed, starting with you. Beto certainly trying to energize his base, but he's going to need a lot more. Last time Ted Cruz ran, he won by over 1 million votes. What's Beto going to need to do to make this a race?
Right. So Beto O'Rourke, for those who don't know him, is a congressman from El Paso. He's a young guy. He's about 44 years old. Used to be in a punk rock band. Has had a career that is unconventional, to say the least. He unseated a Democratic congressman, now running against Ted Cruz. Look, this is going to be a tough race. It's a Democrat running in Texas. But he has an opportunity to mobilize the Democratic base, to really tap into all of these resistance people, the protests, the frustrated voters who aren't just limited to Democrats, by the way, and really try and make a showing for them, make a showing with them. He's going to have his work cut out for him, but he's an exciting and dynamic candidate. I think it definitely presents a unique race, one like we haven't seen in a long time here in Texas.
All right, Matt Makoviak, before O'Rourke announced his run, a lot of people thought that Joaquin Castro would be the Democratic challenger, which could still happen. Should Cruz be concerned about O'Rourke or Castro?
Well, I don't think Joaquin Castro is going to run. I think he's used the last couple months to look into this, raise some money, collect some email addresses, get around the state. But I think that look, I think objective people looking at the midterm election in Texas do not believe it's an opportunity for Democrats to realistically win a statewide race. Beto O'Rourke is not a first-tier challenger. He's a fairly junior member of the Texas congressional delegation. I actually think he's a little bit of an interesting guy. I saw him speak at a Texas Lyceum conference in El Paso last year. But if you look at just candidate strengths, he doesn't bring a lot to the table. Doesn't have much of a fundraising base. El Paso is not a politically significant media market in Texas. He's not going to be able to raise very much money, I don't think. This is going to be a $20 or $30 million race to be credible, and I just don't see that. And so why he's giving up a safe congressional seat when he's in his third term to run a 1 in 1,000 race for United States Senate, I don't understand. To me, it's a political suicide mission.
I want to counter something Matt said, though. Remember, when Ted Cruz ran for the U.S. Senate, had no political experience, not much of a fundraising base, and was like at 1% in the polls. So I think that comparatively,
Republican primary.
O'Rourke is actually starting at a much better place than Ted Cruz did 6 years ago. And in fact, they both have the same amount of congressional experience right now.
Well, Ed, Matt just said 1,000 to 1 shot. What do you think of that?
No, I don't think it's 1,000 to 1 shot. But look, it's going to be a tough race. Whether it's O'Rourke or somebody else who jumps in the race, admittedly going to be tough. And I think that the Democrats are willing to fight and make a case of it. Look, there's only 5 Republican seats up for election in 2018. You got to look at the map and pick a fight somewhere. And if they want to pick one off, Ted Cruz is the one that stands out. There are a lot of people who aren't very happy with Ted Cruz right now, including many Republicans.
Matt Makoviak, what other, we mentioned Joaquin Castro, what other big-time Democrats in Texas are out there who may run against him and at the same time is running in that big statewide race in Texas as a Democrat and losing it? How badly does that damage a future political career?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends how you do. It depends what the result was. This race shouldn't be that attractive because a federal race means you can only raise $2,700 per person. I saw O'Rourke said over the weekend he's been raising an average of $34. Well, to buy a week's worth of television time statewide, he'd need 53,000 donations. That's just for 1 week. So he starts this race with no name identification, with Democrats having, I think, a pretty weak bench in Texas. They just haven't had success outside of urban mayor's races and legislative races. They've had no success statewide in the last 15 or 18 years. And so this is not probably, I wouldn't say, the right race to choose. Again, what is he giving up? He's giving up a safe congressional seat that he worked very hard to get in the first place.
All right. Well, we got a long time till Election Day. Matt, Ed, thank you both very much.
Thanks.
Thanks.